Thank you. I feel pretty good. You know, now we don't have much time now after all that applause. So let me just get right to the point. Let me tell you what I've been worried about. We, as a planet, Earth. Anybody? Here's the thing. We have been sending messages into outer space to extraterrestrials. We're trying to communicate with aliens, and basically, our message is, hey, here we are. Come on down. Yeah, I think that's a bad idea. And I have some people who agree with me, but I'll tell you why. We are here, and we can't go. If they can come here, they're smarter than us. We can't go. They're intergalactic space travelers, you know? Why would they even want to come here? It'd be like if you got a note from your dog. Meet me in the yard. You'd have to wonder what this is about, you know? So if they can come here, they're smarter than us, and then they know they're smarter than us, too, because we've been beaming cops into outer space. So they know they're smarter. They're probably going to call us up as a joke and say, hey, here's where we are. Why don't you come on up, you know? What are we going to say back to that, you know? How about we meet you on the moon? Right, it's not that impressive, the moon, and especially when you consider we can only send 3 guys, and one of them has to wait in the car. So, yeah, that's what I've been worried about. I have a lot of ideas. I've been working on thinking about problems. I have a plan for the homeless. You know, of course, we're in New York City. You have the homeless here. As hard as it is to believe, and you know, though it gets cold in the winter here. I don't know what you do in January. Just go out with a big set of tongs and pick them up. I feel bad for these poor homeless people. You know. I feel bad for them. And people always tell you, well, don't give the homeless money because they're just going to spend it on booze or drugs, right? Well, I kind of feel like, hey, the guy lives in a box. You know, yeah. Well, maybe he could use a drink. So I don't mind if they spend it on that, but I can't afford to be giving them all money. I can't afford to buy around for the homeless. Which, yeah, maybe if I win the lottery, I'll, you know, belly up, homeless people. Tonight we live. But I have to win the lottery for that plan to take effect. So I need a backup plan, and here it is. I've combined the homeless problem with the healthcare crisis. So in my plan, what we do is we send the homeless to medical school. Now they've all got good jobs, and whenever you need a doctor, you don't have to make an appointment because they're just out walking around, you know? Yes. But I have an idea for illegal immigration, you know, which is a big problem. California, we pass these laws about illegal immigration all the time, and they're controversial and hard to enforce. My plan for illegal immigration, very simple. Burning river of gas. Yes, with the whole border, burning river of gas, and I say we do Canada too, just to be fair. Right. Well, we do not need Alan Thicke coming down here whenever he wants. First of all, burning river of gas, that is going to create a lot of jobs. You know, it's a big project. And second of all, tourist attraction. I would go see that, wouldn't you? Burning river of gas. It's like, whoa. Every once in a while, somebody try and run across. Whoa, you know. Have the ranger put them out, throw them back on the other side. Better luck next time. And, yeah, maybe we can even turn it off and on at random to encourage people to go for it. Yeah. Yeah. Right. You be down there tailgating with your family? You got it, you got it, you got it. Whoa. Best vacation ever. Beauty of my plans is that we could actually do them, you know. Some of the stuff, I'm skeptical about some of the things we spend our money on now, our tax money. That stealth bomber, that thing, the invisible plane, $2 billion for an invisible plane that you can see. Yeah, I wouldn't mind if they just showed you an empty field and like, hey, everybody, it's the stealth bomber, you know? Now I'm getting my money's worth. But they don't. They fly it over the Super Bowl, you know? They're like, look, it's the stealth bomber. I'm like, not invisible. You know, turn it on. Yeah, we would think for $2 billion they could blink it one time for us. And then my friend tells me, no, it's invisible to radar. So we can bomb people as long as they're not looking up. Right. Which is tricky. I guess we go in first and throw out a bunch of quarters, and then run around. Yeah. Exactly. That's when we bomb the hell out of them. So anyway, yeah, I mean, I'm no expert on anything really, but I do fly a lot, travel around. I had my biggest trip ever was about a year and a half ago. I went to Hong Kong, China. Well, there might be another one in Tennessee. I don't know, but I went to China, and you know, they tell you before you go to Hong Kong that everybody in Hong Kong speaks English, because it used to be British, you know, but they don't speak English. The cab drivers do not even speak English, which that really surprised me, because I mean the cab drivers here do not speak English. So I had assumed there was some kind of exchange program going on, and yeah, I thought I'd get over there and the guy'd be like, "Where to, buddy?" I speak that crazy lingo. I bring news of home. Yeah, but they don't speak English, but they were very nice. They took us around. I wanted to go out. I wanted to try the Chinese food in China, you know, because I like Chinese food, and I thought the Chinese food in China is going to be better than the Chinese food here, because that's where they make the Chinese people, and they're made out of Chinese food when you think about it. It's true. How can you be mad at that? Anyway, so it turns out that factually the Chinese food in China is not better than the Chinese food here, mostly because of differences of definitions of words that we have, like, for example, beef, which, and that maybe not what you're thinking. What I'm talking about is when we say beef, we are talking about the meat part of the cow, not the eye. And that's the thing. They eat the whole cow over there. So when you order beef noodle, you're lucky if the guy doesn't bring you eye noodle. And he has no idea when you complain to him, "Excuse me, waiter, yeah, there's an eye in here." He's like, "Oh yeah, number one eye for you." Yeah. You have to tell him, "I don't want the eye." We finally got to the point where we had to quit having the full Chinese dinner. We switched to just have the appetizers, you know, because that way if you make a mistake, you just have a small wrong thing. Just the appetizer. Even the appetizers, though, they will combine two different foods over there that we would never in the United States. There's no one in the United States working on a chicken donut. And they have not perfected it over there either. It's the problem. I mean, when you see a donut, you think there's jelly or chocolate or cream in there, not gravy. And yeah, as soon as that thing gets in you, it wants out. And it doesn't care which way either. You're like, well, I don't think that was dead. Because it still has an idea. And then eventually you got to go to the Chinese bathroom, which is a whole nother. Yeah, they have, some of the bathrooms are just like here, where they have a sink, toilet, urinal, but not, every once in a while you go in one where all it is, it's just a hole in the floor, like a porcelain hole. So somewhere there's a factory that makes hole. Yeah, we don't even have that in our toilet catalog, but it's just a hole, you know? So if you're a guy and you have to pee, it's no big deal. But a couple of chicken donuts, you're looking at a trick shot. And I didn't bring an adapter for that. Yeah, so I'm trying to decide. There's no instructions about how you're supposed to deal with it. I'm trying to figure out, well, should I take my pants off completely and hang them up, you know? What about my shoes? Yeah, I don't feel right just squatting naked over a hole. I start to think, well, maybe there's a yoga maneuver I'm supposed to get in, or what? Yeah, or maybe they're all wearing special trousers that flap open so they can, so they can download. I have no idea. As near as I could tell, the Chinese people, they don't have time for a full sit-down experience. They just come in and they're gone. I'll deal with it later, because they're busy. That's the thing. There's so many people. Everybody talks about how many people there are in China, Hong Kong. 7 million people on this little island. Everywhere you go, it's like the rock concert just let out, and you're trying to get to your car. It's like, excuse me, yeah, sorry, hi. I'd like to go that way, Well, it's unbelievable. You want to start screaming at people in the street, stop f***ing. You have to stop f***ing. Yeah. It's too many people. You're going to be standing in the water pretty soon, And that's the thing. I don't think they can stop because it's so crowded. As soon as you get home and take your pants off, you're inside of another person, Oh, sorry. Well, the world's going to be a crazy place, Luckily, my personal life is actually pretty good. This has been a good year for me. Actually, I just got married, and yeah. Oh, thank you. Nice. It's nice to hear people clap, because when I would tell people I was engaged, they would clap, and then that always felt like that thing, where you're on the dock about to dive in, and your friends are already in the freezing cold water, like, come on in, it's great. But this actually really is great, because I finally found the right woman. Yeah, I had a bad string. I kept falling in love with the wrong women, that we've all at least had one of those heartbreak situations, where, it makes sense that we would have one. If love was easy, there would be almost no music. Very little country music. But I kept picking the wrong women. It was totally my fault. I was the bad, we all want to learn from our mistakes. We all want to be that smart laboratory animal that goes for the corn wired to the electricity. Is like, hey, corn, careful. I wish. I'm not that. I'm the, hey, corn, hey, corn, free corn. But I finally found my wife, and she's great. Turns out she's from New Zealand, which is why I had trouble finding her. Because she started off on the other side of the damn earth. You know what I'm saying? If she'd have been any further away, she'd have been closer. But yeah, well, I don't know. But the wedding was great. The wedding was beautiful. The planning of the wedding was intense. I don't know if you've ever. I don't know much about women, but I do know that they all want to get married in fairyland by King Neptune. And, yeah. And as a guy, you're the ass who's trying to bring that in under budget. All my ideas were like, instead of Neptune, can my friend just wear a seafood diaper and carry a big fork? How about that? But it all worked out, and it's great to be married. I went through a bad depression there before that. Before I was depressed. People try and cheer you up too when you're depressed. Like this one friend of mine says to me, you know what, Jake? Dogs are never depressed. Yeah, I don't know if that's true or why he's even my friend, really. But I spent the rest of the day trying to figure out what kind of advice would a dog give you, Have you tried lying in the sun? Until you're really hot. Then go lie in the shade. Feels pretty good. I don't know. Thank God the depressed time was over, and the women, the one thing I did learn about women is that we're never going to understand them. I know that. I used to think we'd figure them out. We'd crack their code, or I'd get close to one of them and she would talk. But it's not going to happen. We're too different. Men and women, you look in their underwear drawer and it's obvious that we are never going to understand women. Usually have to wait for them to go to work. But look around in there. It's all different styles and colors and textures and straps and snaps and sewn on doodads. And how do you even know what the hell you're doing? You look in my underwear drawer. It's just like that is to protect my pants from my ass. There is no certain pair that goes with a certain outfit. I'm sure some of them are lucky. But, you know, you don't even really have to look in a woman's underwear drawer to tell the difference between us. You can go to any shopping mall in the country. Tell the difference between men and women. They got a whole store full of underpants for women. Victoria's Secret, they have that. We don't have that. There is no Victor's Secret. Right? Yeah. Oh, yo, Victor, I blew the ass out of these. Can you help me out? We're never gonna understand each other anyway. We gotta quit trying to understand each other. I think that's a real problem. We gotta quit trying to understand each other. Maybe that's why dogs don't get depressed. They're not trying to figure everything out all the time. That's what I think. Dogs have the right-sized brain for the job that they're asking it to do, you know? If they were any smarter, they might be sad. Our brains are too big, you know? It's like when you go buy a computer and the guy asks you, what are you gonna use it for? And you never just say, Pong. Yeah, we would be happy. You know that's what the dog said, you know? What do you use the brain for, boy? Chase the cat, take a nap. Here you go. Thank you. Bye-bye. Will I be able to find the ball? Yeah, well, most of the time. And that's why they don't get upset, you know? They're not trying to get their penises enlarged. Dogs, they're not worried about that. They roll with it. You ever seen a three-legged dog? It doesn't even faze the dog. That's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? If I lost my leg, that would be it. Every time you bought me a drink, you'd have to hear that leg story. Exactly. Three-legged dogs is like, well, guess I got three now. Yeah, it doesn't even faze them. And that's the thing. They don't get depressed. They get confused. That's the hazard of having a smaller brain. You get a little confused. My neighbor had her dog. She brought her dog back home the other day with that plastic cone on his head from the vet. You ever see the dog? You've seen them out there where they're walking and they always look at you like, what happened? You know? Right. It's like, well, you were the one who wouldn't leave his ass alone. I tried to warn you. Tried putting that bad tasting salve on there. Vet always gives you that salve, right? You know what I'm talking. I don't even think that's for the dog. I think that is a practical joke that the vet is having with you. Yeah, it was here. Rub this on his ass. All right, twice a day. You know it's got to be a racket once the vet tells you how it's supposed to work, that salve. You know what I'm saying? The vet, he'll tell you, you're supposed to put it on the dog's stitches or his butt. The vet says the dog will not lick the salve because the salve tastes bad to the dog. Hello? He's already licking his ass. I don't know. Well, we got to quit trying to figure everything out. That's the answer. We got to quit trying to understand women. We're never going to understand women because they're mysterious, right? And they're never going to understand us because they can't handle the truth. And I don't mean that to be an insult to women. I think that women have a hard time accepting that we could possibly be that friggin' simple. They want to give us credit for being more complicated. They don't know. That's it. That's what you get with us. We freak them out, you know? I had a woman friend come over the other day. She was all upset, like, Jake, I don't understand. How could a man want to have sex with a plastic doll? Yeah, she'd seen one of those inflatable sex dolls at a bachelorette party, you know, and she's like, how could a man want to have sex with a plastic doll? How could a man want to put his penis in a plastic doll? And I said, well, it's not plan A. Yeah. Well, I can't say for sure, but I think we can assume that a series of things has gone wrong to lead up to that plastic doll. Anyway, you guys have been a great crowd. Thank you very much for